Hello, so today we'll start the course on your course on the heat and mass transfer. So in today's class we'll start about the basic concepts of radiation. In the previous few classes I have already discussed about the basics of conduction and also about the convection. So in this will be your class number 10, I suppose. Okay, so we'll start about the radiation. So this is the topic, that interaction of radiation with different materials and the definition of the radiative properties. So this radiation is one of the fundamental properties of heat transfer. Okay, the other being conduction. So you have already studied about the basic concept of conduction. And this is also an important mode of heat transfer, this radiation. What is important about this is that this mode of heat transfer, it does not require a medium. So the medium that is present in the case of radiation, it may or may not participate in the heat transfer. So if the medium does not participate, then that is equivalent to the vacuum, or when there is no medium in between. But it can also happen that the medium that is present can also participate in this heat transfer mode, like the various water vapor and various other particles that are present in the atmosphere. Okay, when the heat comes to the earth's surface from the sun. But for now we will consider that the medium will not participate, there is no medium in between. See over here that suppose this is a solid and it is kept, the solid body is at temperature supports Ts, it is kept within an enclosure. Okay, it is at temperature T. Okay, so these are the surroundings. Okay, and this enclosure, it is at temperature T sir. Now there are various modes in which heat transfer is possible from this solid. Okay, suppose this solid is at a higher temperature than the surroundings. So there are different ways in which this heat transfer is possible from this solid to the surroundings. Now if there is any medium here present over here, okay, so the heat transfer will take place through conduction and convection. Conduction and convection. Suppose if there is air molecules over here, so and the heat transfer will take place through both conduction and convection. And also this, if there is the movement of the air molecules from here to here, so here there will be heat transfer through convection. But if there is no medium in between, okay, then also heat transfer will take place from the solid to the surroundings through the mode of radiation. Okay, and if this temperature of this solid is finite, so there will be a, so because of this heat transmission, this radiative heat transmission, okay, this temperature of this solid will reduce and the temperature of this surroundings will increase till they reach some kind of equilibrium. Okay, so heat transmission will take place. Okay, heat transmission will take place. Okay, now if this surroundings is too large, okay, this surrounding is too large, so it will not have any effect on the temperature. It will remain more or less constant as T is SR. Okay, but this temperature of this solid body will decrease till it reaches the equilibrium. Now another interesting point is that any body that has a temperature more than absolute zero will experience certain kind of radiation, okay, from its surface. Any body having temperature more than absolute zero. Now we assume that both this surface and these surroundings are having a temperature more than absolute zero. Then there will be radiation from both these surfaces. There will also be radiation from this surroundings, which is maintained above absolute zero. So there will also be some transfer of energy from these surroundings, and part of this energy will also be experienced by this solid. Okay, so this is radiation from surroundings, so the energy that we will write theoretically, that is leaving this solid surface, is the difference between this term, okay, the radiation transfer from the solid to the surroundings minus this amount of heat transfer from the surroundings to the solid. So that is the difference which we will write theoretically. Okay, difference between the heat transfer from the solid to the surroundings and from the surroundings to this solid, which you have just now said. Now again, if there is say some another body present over here, so there will be also heat transfer. The three-way heat transfer will take place, okay, with this body and also with the surroundings, depending upon their temperature, depending upon the relative temperature with these two surfaces. Okay. So in case of this radiative heat transfer, we will consider both the cases, that the energy that is emitted by a body through emission, okay, by virtue of its temperature, and also the energy it receives, okay, depending upon whatever is the temperature of the surroundings, whatever is present, the temperature of the surroundings. So this is actually a two-way process. Okay, now over here that we are discussing about the surfaces. Okay, but on another point is that this radiation, it is generally a surface phenomenon, is a volumetric phenomenon. It is generally a volumetric phenomenon, but this volumetric phenomenon, it is applicable mostly in case of the gases. Okay, because in case of gases, the molecules over there, they radiate. The heat transfer takes place from one molecule to another molecule, and also that each molecule will receive emission from other molecules and also from other bodies that are present in the surroundings. But in case of most of the solids, in case of solids and most of the liquids, this radiation will be considered as a surface phenomenon. Okay, for solids and most of the liquids, it will be considered as a surface phenomenon. Now suppose this is a surface, okay, and these are the molecules of that body, okay, present just you can see the molecules, that this is the one layer of molecules, then this next layer, and similarly next layer, and then similarly there are more layers of molecules, okay, under this. Now by virtue of its temperature, suppose this molecule it emits energy. Now this energy which is released by this molecule, it will not reach the surface, but this energy will be absorbed by the surrounding molecules, okay, present over here surrounding this molecule. Okay, so this energy will be that it releases by radiation, it will be absorbed by the surrounding molecules. So the energy from this molecule will not be able to reach the surface, and that is also true for the other molecules, the layer of molecules which are present deep below the surface. Here this layer, okay. But suppose this molecule which is present very close to the surface, yet the energy will be absorbed by the surrounding molecules, but some amount of energy will also reach the surface as it is very close to the surface, okay. So suppose if there is a body over here, so it will experience the energy only of these molecules which are present very close to the surface, okay. But the fact is that all the molecules that are present, be it here or be it here, they emit energy, okay, but that will not be experienced by this body present over here. So the energy that is coming out is not the total energy that is emitted by these molecules, all the molecules, okay. It is only a fraction of that total energy. So this is the case for solids and most of the liquids, as I have said, that this radiation comes down to be a surface phenomenon. This type of energy release is true for the solids and most of the liquids, which I have just now said, okay, because of the close packed molecular structure of these solids and liquids, okay. But this is not true for gases. So in the case of gases, the molecules are more independent of each other, okay. So that radiation is a volumetric phenomenon for the gases. But in case of the solids and liquids, though this radiation is actually a volumetric phenomenon, but we can take that as a surface phenomenon, okay. Why I have just now said over here. So in case of the solids and liquids, so we should consider in case of solid and liquid, the radiation leaving the surface and received by the surface, and also the various radiative properties associated with this emissions and incidence of this energy. But there are certain exceptions, okay, like that nanocrystalline structures, okay, whose diameter is similar to that of a solid molecule, or very thin surface, okay, or very thin surfaces, okay, where all the energy from a molecule is able to reach the surface, Okay, so there the radiation can be treated as a volumetric phenomenon. And another fact is that the molecules which are present within, suppose say 1 micron of the surface, their contribution is only to be taken as the radiative heat transfer from the solid body. Okay, present only within 1 micron or 10 to the power minus 6 meter. Okay, their energy emitted will also only be taken as the energy emitted from the surface. So you can well about imagine. Now how this radiation heat transfer takes place. Okay, we will briefly discuss. Now this radiation, as I have already assumed it to be a surface phenomenon. So the emission of energy from the surface depends on the temperature level. This emission can take place on the actually on two theories. Okay, so two kinds of theory we have mentioned. Okay, one theory, it assumes that the radiation takes place through transmission of these electromagnetic waves, and other assumes energy transfer through photons or packets of energy. So each theory has its own merits and demerits, but mostly over here we'll discuss about the transmission through these electromagnetic waves. So this electromagnetic wave, it is characterized by two things: wavelength lambda, and another is the frequency. Okay, characterized by mu or v, anything you can say. So you already know that the relation between these two entities, the c is equal to lambda into mu. Okay, this is the speed of light. Okay, in vacuum. Okay, so this is 3 into 10 to the power 8 meters per second. Now this wavelength, we'll generally take it as micrometer. We'll generally assume in the scale of micrometer. Okay, that is 10 to the power minus 6 meters. Okay, 10 to the power minus 6 meter. Okay, now this electromagnetic radiation is actually present over a wide spectrum. Now we'll also see that what is the range of this electromagnetic spectrum which we will consider. So you can see over here the spectrum of various type of wavelength of various type of rays in the electromagnetic spectrum. This cosmic rays, okay, that 4 into 10 to the power minus 7 micrometer. You can see over here that X-rays, okay, 10 to the power minus 5 to 2 into 10 to the power minus 2 micrometer. And then the gamma rays, you can see 10 to the power in the scale of 10 to the power minus 6 meters, 4 into 10 to the power minus 7 to 1.4 into 10 to the power minus 4 micrometer. So you can see the range of the wavelength of the various type of rays that we generally come across. Now the gamma rays, its wavelength is, you can see that it is in the scale of less than 10 to the power 6 micrometer. Okay, and the X-rays, the wavelength is more than that of the gamma rays. And the visible light which we see, the light which we can see, it is in the range of, say, about, so the visible light, it is actually in the range of 1 to 0.1 micrometer. Okay, The largest wavelength that we see is of the microwaves. Okay, microwaves, that is used for this cooking purposes. Okay, its range is in the 10 to the power 2 to 10 to the power 4 micrometer. Okay, in this range. Then you have this infrared waves. Infrared, okay, that is mainly responsible for the environmental global warming and such problems. It's a range of 1 to 10 square micrometer. Okay, so this is the range of the infrared radiation. And the ultraviolet spectrum, which is from 10 to the power minus 1 to about 0.4 micrometer. But as thermal engineering students, our primary concern is about the thermal spectrum. About the thermal spectrum, which is of the range from 10 to the power minus 1 to 10 to the power 2 micrometer. So this spectrum is of primary interest to us. The spectrum of electromagnetic radiation is of interest to us. Okay, we'll discuss mainly about this spectrum. So these X-rays and gamma rays, these are of primary interest to the physicists, of nuclear physicists. Okay, so this thermal radiation zone, okay, so this mainly consists of the three types of waves. One is the fraction of the ultraviolet waves between 10 to the power minus 1 to 10 to the power 2. We have this ultraviolet zone, UV zone. Then the entire visible spectrum, as you can see, this visible spectrum, it is within the range of 1 to 0.1 micron, so it falls within this zone. And also about this infrared, you can see that 1 to 10 to the power 2, so it also falls within this zone. Okay, so the thermal radiation, this mainly consists of these three zones. Okay, so today we will discuss till here. We will continue with our discussion in the next class. Okay, so this is all for today, so thank you.